You spend your week managing, handing over work, preparing feedback, planning the quarter, running one-on-ones. Around each of those sits a layer of admin, writing the brief, structuring the notes, drafting the agenda. That layer is exactly what AI is good at. This video gives you 10 copy-paste prompts for managers, covering delegation, feedback planning, and all-in-ones. Here's the map. Delegation. 3 prompts that turn a one-sentence handover into something the other person can actually run with. Second, feedback. Preparing it, rehearsing the difficult conversation, and drafting reviews. Third, a quarterly plan and a prioritization that shows best what your team's capacity actually is. And fourth, one-on-ones, agendas, and follow-ups. So the meeting stops being a status readout. All 10 prompts use the PCG structure, persona, context, goal, from my prompt engineering video. Link in the description if you want the foundation. And every prompt in this video is written out in full in the description, so you don't need to take notes. Let's start with the delegation. Most delegation fails at the handover. You hand someone a task in the single sentence. Do the monthly report, prepare the client meeting, and that sentence is all the instruction they get. They fill the gaps with their own assumptions. You get back something you didn't ask for, and you conclude delegation doesn't work. The fix is a proper brief, and the brief is exactly the kind of document AI gets well. Prompt 1, the delegation brief. Here's how I prompt it. Persona. You are an experienced manager who delegates well. Context. I need to hand over, and here you name the task, to this person who is their experience level and current workload. The deadline is this date, and the constraints are these: budget, tools, dependencies. Goal. Write a delegation brief covering the outcome. I expect to see why the task matters, what's in scope and what's out of scope, which decisions they can make alone and which come back to me, checking points, and what done looks like. Keep it under 300 words. That line that does the work is the decision authority. Most delegation problems are really authority problems. The person doesn't know what they will not to decide, so they either interrupt you constantly or guess wrong. Writing it down once fixes both directions. Prompt 2 matches tasks to people. Context. Here are the tasks I need to delegate this month. Pace your list. And here's my team. Name, role and strengths, current workload, and development goals for each. Go. Propose who gets what. For each match, say whether it's a routine assignment or stretch assignment, what support they need, and flag anything I'm holding onto that someone else should take over. The last instruction is the uncomfortable one. Every manager probably carries over tasks they should have handed over long ago. They're easy, or they're safe, or they used to be your job. The model has no attachments to them, so it flags them. In my experience, it's usually right. Prompt 3 is follow-up. Context. I delegated this task 2 weeks ago. The deadline is this date. I want to know whether it's on track without hovering. Goal. Draft 5 check-in questions that surface blockers, risks, and decisions they need from me. Then draft a 2-line message asking for a status update in whatever format takes them the least time. The questions this produces are about the work, what's blocked, what has changed, and what you need from me. That's the difference between following up and surveilling. And asking for cheapest format is a small courtesy that raises the odds you actually get an answer. Feedback is where managers procrastinate the most. Unprepared feedback goes badly, and preparing it properly is work. AI shortens the preparation, but to enroll before the prompt. These involve information about real people. Anonymize what you paste, and know your company's AI policy before you put anything about an employee into a chatbot. If your company runs an enterprise agreement, how your data is handled is defined there. Check it once, then work with it. Prompt 4 turns observation into feedback. Persona. You're a coach who insists that feedback describes behavior, not personality. Context. I need to give feedback to this person. Here's what I observed, the specific situations, what happened, and what the impact was. Goal. Structure this into feedback I can say out loud. Situation, behavior, impact, and an open question that starts a conversation. Flag anything in my description that is a judgment about the person rather than an observation, and rewrite it. The flagging is the point. For example, if you write he's careless, the model should ask what he actually did. Careless is a verdict. The person can only defend themselves against it. The last 3 reports you made had numbers that didn't reconcile. It's an observation that you can discuss. Prompt 5 is the one I'd keep if I could keep one. Rehearsing the difficult conversation. Context. I need to tell this person that, and here you state the default message. The promotion isn't happening this cycle, but there's a performance concern. They will likely react with defensiveness, or disappointment, or counter arguments. Go. Role play in the conversation. You play down. Push back. Realistically, don't make it easy for me. Afterwards, break character and tell me where my wording was vague, where I softened the message, its ambiguity, and what I left unanswered. Difficult conversations go badly on the first attempt. Rehearsal means the first attempt doesn't happen with the actual person. And the critique afterwards is where you find the sentence you thought was clear and wasn't. Prompt 6 drafts the performance review. Context. Here are my notes on this person's year, anonymized. Wins, misses, feedback given, input from peers. Goal. Draft a performance review that is balanced and specific. Contributions with concrete examples. Development areas stated plainly, without euphemism. And the forward-looking section. Flag every claim in my notes that has no example behind it. Claims without examples are the ones that get challenged in the review meeting, and the ones that feel unfair to the person on the other side of the table. Better that the model flags them now than your employee does later. Now let's look at planning. Planning prompts fail when the model is allowed to be optimistic. A model will happily fit any planning to any quarter if you let it. Both of these prompts are built to prevent that. Prompt 7 turns goal into a plan. Persona. You're a planner who distrusts optimistic plans. Context. My team's goals for the quarter. And here's where it piston. And my team. Size, roles, known absences, and the ongoing commitments that never stop. Support, maintenance, recurring meetings. Goal. Turn this into a quarterly plan with milestones and responsibilities, plus a capacity check. What shared each person's time the plan suits against what actually is available, once the ongoing work is counted. If it doesn't fit, say so and show me what to cut. Do not compress the estimates. The ongoing commitments are the part every plan forgets. Nobody on your team has 8 plannable hours a day. Most have 4 or 5, and the rest is already spoken for. Forcing the model to count that before it plans is the entire value of the prompt. Prompt 8 is prioritization. Context. Everything on my team's plate right now. Paste the list. Go. Force rank it against these criteria. Customer impact, revenue, risk effort, or whatever yours are. Show the ranking as a table with a score or criterion. Then tell me which items the ranking says to stop doing entirely, and where the table most disagrees, and how we'll rank things by gut. And argue the table's case. You're not outsourcing the priority call, that stays with you. But explicit criteria expose the items that survive on habit rather than merit. And the instruction to argue against your gut is where the useful output is. Sometimes the table is wrong, and now you know why you believe that. Last area, one-on-ones. They drift into status meetings because status is the easiest agenda. It requires no preparation. These two prompts do the preparation. Prompt 9 builds the agenda. Context. My one-on-one with this person is tomorrow. 30 minutes. As always, remember the anonymization of the data. Prompt 9 builds the agenda. Context. My one-on-one with this person is tomorrow. 30 minutes. Here's the raw material. Notes from last time, recent messages, things I've observed. Their development goal is this. Goal. Build an agenda. The open threads from last time that need closing on a topic that's bigger than status, and one question about their development goal. Status goes last and gets 5 minutes. If the agenda comes out mostly status, tell me, and rebalance it. The structure encodes a policy. Status is the least valuable use on that half hour, because status could have been a message. The open threads and the development question are the parts that only happen if someone prepares them. And preparing them now takes minutes instead of hours. Prompt 10 closes the loop after any meeting. Context. Here are my run notes from the meeting. Paste them. Go. Extract these lists. Decision made, stated as decisions. Actions, each with one named person responsible and days. And open questions, with who needs to answer them. Anything that looks like an action that has nobody responsible for it. Flag it. Actions with nobody responsible are how work disappears. Everyone remembers the discussion, nobody does it then. The flag list is your follow-up material. It feeds straight back into prompt 9 for the next one-on-one. The two prompts run as a loop. Let's walk back through what we covered. We started with delegation, a brief that spells out outcome, scope, and decision authority. A matching prompt that pairs tasks with people and flags what you should start holding onto. And checking questions that follow up on the work without hovering over the person. Then feedback, turning observations into situations, behavior, and impact. Rehearsing the difficult conversation against the model that pushes back. And drafting reviews where every claim needs an example candidate. Third, planning, a quarterly plan that counts ongoing commitments before it counts ambitions. And a prioritization that scores your list against explicit criteria and argues with your gut. And finally, one-on-ones, an agenda built from open threads and development instead of status, and meeting those turn into decisions, actions with names on them, and open questions. The pattern across all 10 is the same. Give the model real context, demand structure back, and make it challenging. Apply the judgment, question the estimate, argue the other case. The prompts that earn a place in your week are the ones where the AI disagrees with you. Well, not the ones where it agrees quickly. All 10 prompts are written out in the description. Copy them, try them out, adapt the bracketed parts of your team, and swap the criteria for your own. If you manage projects as well as people, my prompts for project management video were also the same recipe on planning, risk, and stakeholder communication. That's a natural next step to watch. If this was useful, liking and subscribing helps other managers find it. See you in the next one.